Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, March 7th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. We're about 1 minute away from NFP report. Reporting numbers here for the previous month. We also have Fed Chair Powell speaking 11:30 a.m. Central, so we could get some volatility here early in the day heading into the RTH Open, and then again another dose of volatility around the lunchtime hour heading into the final hours of the week. So far this has been a highly bearish week. That's the start of the week right there. Failed new high. Huge outside day down for a time, bounced into the close, another back-to-back huge day, high range down days with a very bearish bias here, super high ranges. I mean, this thing right now, this is a developing day here. The actual static 10-day average range right now for the ES, 119.6 points per day. On a 5-day basis, 139 points per day. Huge move day over day, in both directions, really. And right now you're seeing a little bit of a pop to the upside. Initially, non-farm payrolls coming in at 151K. That's just shy of the 159K estimates, and previous coming in at 125. So that's the pre-market data coming in a little bit of a pop, and then putting in a strong morning high. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that this market here has continued to see selling pressure after every bounce. So even if we have seen a little bit of weakness or a lot of weakness, this market has been able to push that back to new lows or rotate it back within the downtrending structure. So we're still moving lower. We're still moving lower. We have no strong lows to work with, and this market still has a little bit more to go. For example, 5,700 still a key level to go test. Open FOMC key level from September, and the initial target we had to begin the year was 5,700 as a quick pullback. It has now been a longer pullback from the high of the year, and 5,700, does it open up the potential for a rotation back within this larger rectangle, or do we fail there and open up 5,400 or even lower? So big time level coming up here, 5,700 today. Still downtrending. Got to be careful with strength here, because any bullish move could still be defended by bears within the downtrending rotation until this market can find a strong low. Looking at the NQ, very similar price action here to the NQ. Small range of price action right now, 37% of ADR. A little bit of a bounce here on non-farm payroll. Still a very clear downtrending market. And again, even if this thing bounces here early today, it could still be met with selling pressure for an inverted checkmark day down. This market, again, starting the week with a failed new high and seeing weakness throughout much of the week here. Still a very steady sell-off from the recent highs. And like the ES here, we still have some room to run to the downside. The September FOMC key level, 19.7. We still have 19.7 that could be hit. Once we get that level, do we then begin to bounce back up the range? As we mentioned with the ES. If not, a failure at 19.7 starts to open up 18.5 and perhaps as low as 17.5 down below. So this market, again, on bullish bounces within this downtrend, could continue to be a selling opportunity for bears. Looking at crude oil, this one's up 1.4% right now. A nice little bounce off the low end of the range. This one hit new lows. The previous year here, we had those lows that came in right there. That is the 65.27s. A couple of days ago, we got below it here and hit 65.22. That's the lowest levels again in over the last 2 years. And you don't get much lower, but you can get into about 64s. 64, 63.80, right in that zone. You have multiple year lows, a big time area of market structure. If we fall one more leg into 64, this could be a tremendous buying opportunity as this thing rotates back up the way during this next phase of bullish seasonality. So holding right now, still in a downtrend. Still in a downtrend. It's going to take a lot more to really turn this bus around after months here of downtrending price action, but reaching this edge, very, very important. Can this thing find a strong low off the edge that opens up the upside, or do we fail a little bit lower, 64s? So that's the theme here, a little bit lower for a lot of these markets could still be in play. Gold, on the other hand, could be a little bit higher. A little bit higher. This thing now with a 4-day compression here at these highs. Inside day right at the moment. After this higher low in an uptrend, this compression could open up the next push to the upside. 3,000 again. We've been talking about 3,000. That could still be ahead for gold. Now we are building out within this narrow 4-day range. In the uptrend, any pullback or failed new low could be a great opportunity for a buy the dip outside day continuation type of play. This market right now, again, very, very close to reaching new all-time highs at 3,000. Looking at the YM, right now the YM trading a range of just 381 points. That is 52% of average inside day at the moment. And you can kind of see here it's sitting right around the 42,700 level, which is still off of recent support. Just looking at visual support here, you have these lows that come in around right here. That's 42,000, and that's our next major target down, 42,000. That's the target we talked about when we were up here in this compression. If we break down, we have a move that can take us to 44, then 43, and then 42 as this thing works its way back within this large rectangular range. So once we get that level, there could be the bounce that takes us back up the range over the next several months. So again, keeping an eye on this zone for a potential bounce down here. That's 42,000. Still more to go. Any pullback could still be a selling opportunity until proven otherwise, until we see a strong rejection that changes the trend back the other way. But right now we have this support zone to go find. Once we get into that zone, or maybe even a little bit below it, it could be a great opportunity to fade it back up. All right, let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin here with its third developing higher low and wick reversal. We had that day one rejection here, very, very confident about that day one rejection. And then we had the massive gap up and fade, and that was your Monday gap and fade, and that threw off the confidence quite a bit. Then you have your secondary higher low, that brought back the confidence a little bit, but this has just been a very weird development in here lately for Bitcoin. And now early in the day, we're seeing this huge wick reversal here, here, and here 3 times in a row. Is 3 times the charm to get this thing going higher, back to 100,000, and maybe even back to the 110 level. Is that what we can get up ahead? If not, 95K, still big time resistance right in that zone. And are we still headed lower within the current downtrend? So this thing really building some energy. Big time tail event here. 3 times over the last week of trading. Can this thing open up a little squeeze behind these tails, or will they give up the wicks by the end of the day? Looking at ETH, this one's up about 0.6% right now and trying to form a similar higher low wick reversal. This one obviously has had the most pullback over recent months here, and you can see right now trying to put in a higher low, trying to put in a failed new low against 2-day lows. That's your failed low here, lower low, rejection. Is this going to be able to make a move back up? And this is the zone to do it. I've mentioned before, 2200, 2100. Even as low as 2,000, this was the zone that is the must-hold critical support for ETH. Has to hold. If not, big time continuation through the teens could happen. 1900, 1800, down to about 1600. So this is a must-hold zone. It's already been a 50% haircut back down, and it could be a 100% return back up if we can make it back across the range over the course of the year. So big time area support here, trying to find that higher low. But admittedly, both Bitcoin and ETH continue to be bearish in the near term. So it really has to prove otherwise here for this thing to start going to the upside. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the weekend. Happy Friday. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.